Dennison was responding to some of the allegations that Apple has been throwing Samsung's way throughout the trial. His point was that Samsung spends a great deal of money and has a lot of people dedicated to design and marketing, just as Apple does. And he also outlined how the company's strategies are different, that while Apple releases the iPhone every once a year, Samsung puts out about 50 new phones a year. And so he's trying to draw the distinction between the two companies and illustrate how what Samsung does is different than Apple and that they aren't copying, as Apple alleges.
And yet, on the other side, you had design expert Peter Bressler taking the stand as well today, saying no contest, Samsung did indeed copy Apple. What would you say was most convincing about his testimony?
Bressler, getting into the part of the trial where you get into so-called expert testimony, Bressler is somebody that Apple brought in to make its point that Samsung is using similar design elements. Samsung, in its cross-examination of Bressler, however, pointed out a lot of the differences between some of the phones that are at issue in the case. The 4 buttons on the bottom of your typical Android phone as opposed to the one that the iPhone has, the size of bezels, getting really in the weeds of what is at issue in the case is, a few very specific patents that Apple needs to prove that Samsung is copied and therefore are losing business as a result of.
Okay, so Adam, the next witness is former Apple designer Susan Kare. What are we expecting her to say?
It's going to be more of what we've been hearing from Bressler. I think she used to work at Apple. She was involved in a lot of the design of Mac icons, the icons that are on the desktop of the machine, and that's one of the issues of the case. And she's going to outline the care and detail that goes into creating those. And Apple has accused Samsung of copying those little icons. If you look at the icons of the Galaxy Tab, Apple has said in the trial so far that Samsung has taken the iPad and essentially tried to copy that look and feel.